Okay, there we go. Alright, just making sure my audio is coming through. Okay, now it is. Good. Just wanted to make sure. Alright. Alright. Well, I guess we'll get going shortly. Cool. Alright. Hopefully this won't be too bad. Hello everyone and welcome to round 5 of the America Formula Performance Series. Here on Race Spec Esports, I'm K1997, your lead commentator for this race, and this time we are racing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. Opened in 2008, first being introduced as the first ever night race to Formula One, lies the Marina Bay Street Circuit, located in Singapore. It is a 3-mile racetrack consisting of 19 turns. It's now been revised as they gotten rid of the sequence of 90-degree corners that were basically turns 16 to turns 16 to 21. Instead, now we got a long straight that goes into the bus stop chicane that now is basically turns 16 and 17. It's just to basically open up more overtaking opportunities around this racetrack. This track is also known to be, in reputation, one of the longest tracks on the calendar in terms of length of time because of basically of how many sequence of corners and tight, narrow parts of the track there are. There are concrete walls lining every part of the racetrack, as we all know, in every street circuit. It also has a potential of rain as well, knowing that Singapore is next to the equator. So if there is rain in the forecast, we probably won't be too surprised if we get that here tonight. Although it wouldn't be a great experience for the drivers, but considering that wet weather conditions at Singapore is known to be one of the most treacherous in any part of any Formula One calendar. Now, before we go focus into qualifying, there's just some news to go through first from last week at Jeddah. Very surprisingly, I thought there would be at least some incidents, but there isn't. There are no incidents that were reported from last week at Jeddah, so the results from last week remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, currently it's Lil Mick that leads the way on 63 points, followed by Surf, who won last week at Jeddah, is on 62 points. Tom is in third with 53 points, followed by Sparty in fourth with 50 points, and then Cole with 50 points as well. And also we have Professor Phil in 6th with 49, Honeybee in 7th with 44, Rebel in 8th with 40, Sergeant Bill in 9th with 37, and then completing the top 10 is Black Bull with 29 points. In the Constructors' Championship, Alfa Romeo leading the way on 147 points, followed by Williams in 2nd with 115. Alpine are in 3rd with 86, AlphaTauri in 4th with 70, Ferrari are in 5th with 60, Aston Martin in 6th with 58, Haas in 7th with 51, McLaren in 8th with 38, excuse me. Red Bull Racing in 9th with 26, and Mercedes rounds it all up with 14 points. And that's it in terms of the news. We can now go into this qualifying session. We got 18 cars for today's session. That's good to see, and it is a short quality session as well. So we're back to that, unlike last week where we had full qualifying. Let's see, is everyone on the softs? Not everyone. Only Harmony's on the mediums, but apart from that, that's literally it. We'll get everything up as well, get all the important stuff. As There's a Red Bull out in front. I'm gonna guess that would be Laquito. I think we'll ride along with Harmesis, considering he might have a more representable lap. So we'll ride along with the Ferrari driver and give you a proper tour of the racetrack here at Marina Bay Circuit, as he'll wrap around the final couple of turns and begin his first flying lap down the main straightaway towards the first corner, reaching the entry speed of about 185 miles an hour, braking into putting it down to fourth gear, then through turn 2 into turn 3. Maybe a little bit of a correction there at the exit of turn 3, up towards turn number 5, and then brake down to fourth gear, open the DRS once again, and then through this little kink down Raffles Boulevard, that's turn 6, and into the braking zone of turn 7. Braking just before the 50 board down to fourth gear. Maybe kept a little bit more generous there around turn 7, through turn 8, and then into turn 9. A lot of tight sequence of corners here. A little bit too much curve there, I'd say, there from the Ferrari driver, as he now heads up to what was the infamous Singapore Sling. It was that stupid little chicane that would catch a lot of drivers off guard in the previous years around here. Through the Anderson Bridge, and then into the hairpin of turn 13. Open the DRS once again, heading up towards now turn 14, and then we'll head down towards the long straight that basically was a grandstand on that right side. You can see right there, that no longer exists. It's just a long straight. Funny, he reaches the 8th gear. I never see that normally around here. Usually you reach the 7th gear before the entry to that bus stop. Up towards the final couple of corners, and we'll complete the lap. Harmesis will do a 32.2 to complete his lap. Just about a 10th behind Laquito for now. Style Harmony, though, goes to P1 with a 31.8. That's on the medium compound tire. Little Mick blitzes that, but with a 1 minute 30.7. As Blockman follows up with a P2 time of a 1 minute 31.108. And Aston Martin will cross the line as well. That's Country Dawn. Does a 33.5. Rebel goes to the top now with a 1 minute 30.3. He's now in the Williams for this race. And Coral finally back as well. He's put up a time of a 1 minute 31.165 as well. Yeah, I didn't mention as well, the overtaking opportunities around this racetrack, there's not very many, but there's at least a couple you can try. Turn 1 and basically right about here, turn 7 is the primary overtaking spots. I have seen other overtaking spots happen, maybe at turn 8, but it's very difficult to do so. And also, probably would say when you get towards the bus stop, turns 16 to 17, can be another overtaking spot. It's probably coming out on an outlap as we speak as well. We've got more time to the board. Sorry, Phil doing a 31.3, Honeybee a 31.5. Someone else I think just came across the line. I believe that was a Haas of Sufferline there with a 32.196. Also a familiar face I have just noticed on the screen as well. I have not seen for a while. Sir Jake in the Haas. He actually used to be a PlayStation player. I remember from the early days of the America Series, from PlayStation America Series. And then, looks like he's now gone on to the PC side of things. But, yeah, making his debut for the Formula Performance. Not good to see him back on the grid here in Race Spec for sure. Yeah, on the outlap as we speak as well. Just a bit of a lull period, I think, at the moment. Not really anybody doing any sort of representable times. So, yeah, just a bit of a quiet period. Still got a few cars yet to do a lap. That being, sorry, that being Sparty, Jay, Sir Jake, and Trava, who has yet to leave the pit lane. Let's see. I guess we'll run along Sparty since he will be the next car to start flying lap. As he heads out of the chicane, we'll head up towards the final 2 turns, and we'll start his flying lap. Down towards turn 1. Open the DRS, reaching a peak speed of about 186 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour quicker than his teammate. Through turn 2, turn 3, down to 2nd, short shifts up to 3rd on the exit of turn 3. Up towards turn 4, through the kink there, now into turn 5, down to 4th gear. Modulates the throttle, heads around the corner, opens the DRS, heads up towards now turn 7. with the rear wing open. Clock same for him in the first sector. It's a 27.8 to the first sector. Round turn 7, up towards turn 8. Hard on the brakes, down to second gear. Short shifts up to third on the exit. And then back on the gas, heading up towards now turn 9. Third gear again, short shifting up to fourth. Something I tend to see drivers do quite a bit is sometimes doing a bit of short shifting. Through the Singapore Slane, and now up towards now the Anderson Bridge. To the Anderson Bridge, and then braking just before the end of the bridge itself. Second gear, short shifting up to third, heading up towards now turn 14, the end of the middle sector. Down to second, and again we'll short shift up to third. Does a lot of short shifting, it seems, Sparty. As he heads up towards now the long straight, heading up towards the turn 16 to 17. Hard on the brakes, down to third. Modulating the throttle again, yellow flags are out. That's just, it looks like just localized yellows, I suppose. Out of the final corner now, back onto the main straight. He'll cross the line just at a 32.8, puts himself into 14th. Jay on a flying lap as well. So Jake has invalid. Goodness me. Oh, as Jay is literally clobbering the wall there. At turn 11, he definitely clobbered it. I heard the thud for sure coming out of that. Out of the AlphaTauri. I don't know if he got damaged from that. Let me see on his front wing. He doesn't seem like he's got front wing damage, so maybe he might carry on. Sir Jake, though, does peel back into the pits, so he will not proceed with this lap. Yeah, I think Jay is also backed out of his lap as well, so he's not really going any quicker. Tom, meanwhile, is on a flyer, or outlap, sorry. He's currently sitting in P2, about a tenth and a half behind Rebel, who currently sits at the top. There's his teammate coming out of the pits. Coral on an outlap as well. Definitely someone who could definitely fight towards the top. See how he goes. Professor Phil on an outlap as well. Sergeant Bill has just started a flying lap. As he makes his way up towards the first turn. Fourth gear. Keeps it in fourth through turns 1 and 2. Then down to second. And keeps it in second. Then up through the gears as he exits through turn 3. Now to turn 5. Down to fourth gear. Modulates the throttle. And there's a car getting out of the way. That's an Alfa Romeo getting out of the way. Sergeant Bill will head up towards the first sector split. The clock's same for him. He's up by 57,000 rather to the first sector. How about Coral? What is he up to as he comes up to the first sector? Clock says for Coral he's up by nearly 0.2 of a second. So he's definitely improving on this lap for sure for the moment. Honeybee has just started his flying lap. Take her easy. Has started his, starting with Sergeant Bill, who's up by just about a tenth and 3/4 to the middle sector. He's on the medium tire as well. It's the same medium tire he was using at the start of qualifying. See if he can find any more time. He's currently sitting in 10th position ahead of his teammate who did that lap on the soft tire. Alright, crossing the line. It's going to be 8 for now on probably, what is that, two lap old? Yeah, 2 lap old mediums. Not too bad. Still pretty decent time. Coral's up by 0.6 of a second to the middle sector. Sergeant Bill is up by 24 thousandths. He's lost a bit of time in that middle sector. Out of the final corner now, up to the line. It's going to be P7 for now with a 31.4. What about Coral, though? How much of an improvement can he put up in the Williams? So around the final corner, up to the line, it's going to be third place for him for now with a 1 minute 30.693. He's about over 3.5 tenths behind Rebel at the moment, maybe 4 tenths behind. As Old Mech has just started his flying lap. Tom is up by 0.2 of a second to the to the middle sector. Coming out of the bus stop and up towards now the final couple of corners of the racetrack goes the Alfa Romeo. Will it be a 29? Ooh, it's close. Oh, there's a spinning Ferrari as well. I'm not sure who that is, but meanwhile, Tom, though, does improve to a 30 flat. That might have been Harmesis. Yeah, it was Harmesis that spun. So Jake has started his flying lap as we speak. Lil Mick has backed out of his lap. Jay has come out. He'll be on his out lap shortly as well. Sparty has backed off. Yeah, Harmerstell's obviously backed up from his spin. Liquido, not really anybody. Not too many people on flying laps, it seems, or representable laps, I think. Alright, we'll just follow what Jake then. Oh, interesting. First gear as he enters into turn 8. Something I don't often see around that corner. Because it's usually a second or third gear corner when you go around there. Doesn't really bother cutting much of the apex there at turn 10. He also didn't do much of 11 either. As Supreme has joined the session. I have no idea who that is. I've never seen that name before. Well, we'll see what he comes up with. We got 2 sweet seats to fill up, I suppose. Let's see it, Jake. He has a 27.2 to the first sector. He would be someone that would be more representable at the moment. The Supreme has left the session. Probably one of Sparry's friends, I'm assuming, but probably not in this league. So Jake crossing the line will go into 11th with a 31.7. Take it easy, goes to 7th position with a 31.1. Meanwhile, though, the AlphaTauri of Jay is currently does not have a time yet. Neither does Travas. He hasn't even bothered coming out of the pits yet. He's just been sitting there pretty much. Alright, Jay. Let's see what he's got. Up towards the chicane. Breaking the car down to the third gear. Or going down to third gear, I should say. Alright, out of the chicane, headed towards the final 2 turns. Oh, he runs wide and invalidates. Right at the second to last corner. That time would have put him ahead of Lil Mick. But instead he's invalidated. We got about 3.5 minutes to go here, so probably we'll see a lot more drivers coming out. Blotman in the other AlphaTauri, let's see what he can put up. He's currently sitting in 6th place. This will be his second run as he heads down the main straightaway towards the first corner. This probably will be his only shot, if he doesn't have enough fuel in the car in case he messes up. But look, they got through there alright. Maybe a bit wide. They're coming out of turn 3, up towards turn 5, down to 4th, and then modulates the throttle. Good little exit there at the exit of 5. Open the DRS to the kink of turn 6. What will the clock say for Blotman? The clock says he's up by just over 1/10 of a second to the first sector. What about Lil Mick? He's currently up on his lap right now. He's just gone past a Red Bull as we speak, and I think he has backed off. He must have had a mistake or something happen to him. Tom is officially retired, so that's the best he can hope for. Is currently in pole with a 30 flat. He's currently ahead by almost 3/10 of a second to Rebel. Blotman coming up to the middle sector now. What would the clock say for him? It says he's up by 3.5 tenths. He's purple apparently, but with that sort of improvement, he'll look to be getting ahead of Professor Phil, who's currently occupying that top 5 spot. Oh, he's invalidated as well. I just noticed that. Oh, he must have done that at turn 14. He must have ran wide at the exit. Well, that's it for qualifying for Blotman. That's it. Best he can hope for is P6. Coral is down by 74 thousandths. Lil Mick is retired as well, unsurprisingly. I'm sorry, that was Rebel. Coral's on his outlap. Yeah, Blotman is retired as well. Not a surprise, considering the time left on the clock. It's a very long outlap and inlap here at Singapore. We want Bills to start a flying lap. Style Harmony, he's now on the soft tires. He's actually going slower in the first sector compared to his medium time. Very interesting, but let's see if he can pick up some more ground. Rebel up by 9 thousandths. Apparently he's purple, according to the minimap. Ooh, that's very close. Don't want to run wide there at 14. Don't want to go over those white lines. He's just now got the chicane left for him. Third gear, keeps in the third, modulates the throttle. Out to the chicane, up towards the final 2 turns of the racetrack. Will this be enough for Rebel? Crossing the line. Oh, he misses out. He just missed out by 6 thousandths of a second. That's close. That's very, very close. Coral, though, is on a flying lap. He's up by 26 thousandths to the first sector. Phil is going to get ready very shortly. He's on an outlap as we speak. Sergeant Bill What about you? What are you up to? Coming up to the middle sector for the Alpine. Clock says he's down by 54 thousandths. Liquido has improved by a tenth to a 31.6. That'll be good enough for at least 11th. Phil crossing the line is... Oh, wait, that was his outlap. I'm sorry. That's why it got me a bit confused. Let's see here. Coral to the middle sector. What has he got in store? Clock says for Coral. Oh, he's really lost time. He's down by nearly 2 tenths, so I don't think he's going to improve. Spire starts his flying lap. Same with Harmesis, who's actually already on a flying lap, up by nearly half a second to the first sector. Country Dawn crosses the line. It's only good enough for 14th with a 31.8. Subflime not going to improve on this lap whatsoever. Yellow flags are out at Sector 3. That's for Williams, I think, as Coral has retired from the session on track. Armistice up by over a second to the middle sector. What will he have in store? Spy up by 70 thousandths to the first sector. Will the Ferrari get towards the top? He has had pole before, and last one came, I think, if I remember correctly, was at Bahrain. Up towards the final 2 turns comes Armistice. Will this be a good time? It will be. A good representable time, actually. 1 minute 30.9 for Armistice. Goes up towards the top 10. See here, Spari up by 53 thousandths of a second. So Jay and Travail, also the only drivers that did not set lap times at all, will start from the very back of the grid. Spari, though, currently in 16th. He needs to find a lot of time if he wants to get a position at least. Out of the final corner, crossing the line, and he stays 16th with a 31.9. Sergeant Bill done with qualifying as well, and that is qualifying itself. So it is Tom starting on pole here for the Singapore Grand Prix, and beats out Rebel by 6 thousandths of a second. Very close qualifying indeed. Just wait for everyone to retire and everything, and yep, there we go. Now we can move on to the next screen. Alright, and that is your quali session here for Singapore for the American Formula Performance. Tom starts on pole, Rebel second, Lil Mick in third, Coral fourth, Phil fifth, Harmesis, Blockman, Take Her Easy, Sergeant Bill, Honeybee, Liquido, Style Harmony, Subfalime, Sir Jake, Country Don, Smarty, JM, and Trava were the only 2 drivers that did not set lap times in qualifying. Oh, hang on. I think I just got a weather report. Dry qualifying. There might be some rain in the mid part of the race. Okay, well, if there is, we'll wait and see. Wouldn't be surprised if there is, but remember the weather is set to approximate. Right. And it is race time for Singapore. We'll have 31 laps to come here around this place. But yeah, there could be rain. Maybe there could not be rain. We'll wait and see. He said there'd be 9% chance, so you never know with approximate weather. Yeah, there'll be no formation lap as well. We're just going to go straight into the race. Because obviously the formation lap still hasn't been fixed. Yeah, good to see how the game still hasn't fixed this formation lap after like 2 game cycles. Right. Should not be too long. But knowing this is probably leading the little thing to ready up. Yeah, at least the main thing is I didn't forget to put myself not in spectator mode, because that was the main thing I forgot to do last week. Yeah. Oh dear, Subflame has left the session. Well, I hope you can come back to the session when we get ready. Yeah, he's gonna have to get in his car when the lights go out. Oh, there you go. Subflame has joined back. Not sure if he can get into his car though. Yeah, should be able to keep his setup, but who knows if it might have changed his strategy a little bit. Come on, come on. I probably would assume a lot of the drivers will price down the hard compound tire. It's usually the preferred tire to start on around this place. Considering the tire wear around here in Singapore, it's something noticeable for sure. But yeah, I kind of find the hard tire to be one of the better tires around this place, ironically. Yeah, hard medium would probably be a strategy, or medium hard, but yeah, medium hard you might be on the back foot based off of how you go at the end of the race. But yeah, with lower fuel, yeah. Alright, well anyway, never mind what I was gonna say. It's time for the lights. 5 red lights here at Singapore, and we are underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. Looks like a slow start from the AlphaTauri in the background there. That might have been Jay. Meanwhile, the Rebel trying to go down the inside. Tom heading into turn 1. They make a slight contact. Tom goes off the road as they head up towards turn 3. It's Williams and Alfa Romeo side by side, as now the Alpha Tom has to give in, gets behind Rebel, moves down into second place as they now make their way through turn 4 and turn 5. So far, it looks like everyone's gone through relatively all right. Meanwhile, though, Tech are easy. Sergeant Bill and also a couple other cars getting involved in some action as well. Sergeant Bill down the inside, or trying to get down the inside as Honeybee counters that. Oh, as Sergeant Bill goes way deep on the brakes, nearly hits the wall there. Yellow flags are out. That's Sir Jake that might have had a spin or something there at turn 7. But meanwhile, out in front, it's Rebel that leads, followed by Tom. Rebel, though, leading the way on the hard compound tire, I see. Yeah, he's on the hard compound tire. That's a very good start there from Rebel. And already he's clearing away of the Alfa Romeo. It's 9.5 tenths, make that a second, separating those two. Coyle right now occupies third, followed by Lil Mick in fourth, who is also on the hard compound tire. Professor Phil in fifth. That was his move as well. That's ghosted Coral, I think that was, on Lil Mick, or might have been Lil Mick, I'm not entirely sure. Ghosting, one of the cars were ghosting. But anyway, Coral gets through, he's up to third position now, ahead of Lil Mick. While Professor Phil in 5th, Blockman staying in 6th position, Harmesis in 7th position. How many spots did he gain? He's only gained, oh, he's lost 1. I was thinking he was a little bit lower than that. I kept thinking he was down towards the bottom, then I remembered otherwise. Sergey got a 5-second time penalty already for speeding the pit lane. Yeah, that's a thing you got to be careful with is the pit lane here. It's 37 miles an hour, 60 kilometers per hour, and he is elected to retire from the session. Well, just after 1 lap, he is now officially out of the race. Just like that. Must have sustained some damage, I guess. But yeah, you want to know part of that, I guess, anymore. Yeah, otherwise, everyone's gone through relatively fine, apart from Sergey, who had that small incident, whatever happened to him. Everything else seems like it's relatively alright. Biggest movers out of anybody has been Jay, who's gained 3 spots on the opening lap. It's moved up to 3 spots. Travar is the only driver on the soft compound tire, as you can see on your screen. But meanwhile, though, Tom trying to close up on Rebel. Rebel trying to pull away as best he possibly can. But Tom does not want to let go. And he needs to get in front of that Williams quickly. He needs to for his sake because, well, the position he's in, he's not going to be in the greatest position considering that Rebel's on the hard compound tire. He'll be going to the mediums to the end of the race. And he'll definitely be much quicker. Tom that sets a fast lap. That's now beaten by Coral, who does a fast lap of a 34.2. As DRS is now enabled. Yeah, no, everyone's gone through relatively fine. I'm generally surprised, but hey, that's good to see. A good start from everybody. Nothing too major happening, but now we got DRS open from the Alfa Romeo. We also got open for the Williams, I think, from Coral. Take her easy, overtaking Harmesis. That's at turn 7. Not a surprise. We'll be seeing more of that coming around that same corner. Meanwhile, Travas overtaking Sparry. That is for 15th place. Sparry now moves down to 16th position, staying at 16th. One second separating these two. Tom, though, I don't think is going to have DRS on this occasion, considering he was just under a second, over a second behind, and yeah, he is well over a second behind on that. So yeah, you will not get DRS. Battery life, as far as we know, Rebel has got 44%. Tom is about equal with Rebel. Coral, though, has burned a lot of it. Same with, well, actually, no, Lil Mick has burned not a big significant amount, but he's almost got the same amount as Tom and Rebel. Phil at 41 and Blockman at 35. Another thing as well to keep in mind about this racetrack is you got positions changing as well. JM and Country Dawn fighting away at the chicane. Country Dawn moves up into 13th place, staying at 13th, I think. But yeah, the one thing too about Singapore, it's very difficult to recharge the battery in some aspects because there's not a lot of heavy braking areas around here. So it's going to be very difficult to try to save if you are not careful. Tom, obviously, he's not close enough to do anything here into turn 7. And yeah, Rebel's starting to pull away just a little bit there on those hard compound tires. He's making the most out of them at the moment. As Jay is now overtaking Country Dawn. That's at 7, but he might have overshot the turn there just a little bit. But Jay keeps the inside line. He'll stay in 14th for now. Yeah, meanwhile, though, Coral occupying 3rd, but he's got the Alfa Romeo of Lil Mick for company. He started this race on the hard compound tire, or he is starting. He was one of the few that started on the hard compound tire, I should say. Falling close behind to Coral, who's right now on the mediums. Blockman dropping back just a little bit. He's 1.7 seconds behind Professor Phil. on to lap 5 of 31. Still got a long way to go in this race. 1.3 seconds is the margin between the top two. Has been kind of stagnant for a little bit. Rebel has gained a little bit of battery back. Hasn't really used much. Country Don and Travat side by side through turns 2 and 3. The Aston Martin gets in front. He stays in front of the Mercedes for now. Oh, Travat's tires are going to be lasting too long considering he's on the soft compound tire. They are quite insignificant around here. But meanwhile, though, he will get ahead of the Aston Martin and... Oh, that's the Red Bulls! Both Red Bulls have collided! Star Army and Liquito at turn 7. They've both collided at turn 7 and have dropped down to 15th and 17th. What has happened to those two? They must have came side by side and then just were glued to... Oh, it's Liquito who tags the back of Sunfaline. And why does he have his battery on still? You might want to turn that off if I'm totally fair. What on earth was he doing? But yeah, both Red Bulls down out of the points for now here. Not very good news for Red Bull. Nick, meanwhile, closing in on Coral. Coral still losing time to the top two. He's 2 seconds behind. Lomegno trying to make the most out of it. Oh, that's a snap of oversteer there from Coral. He definitely lost the back end slightly at the exit of turn 3. But now Lomegno will come up to him with DRS, heading up towards turn 7. Is he close? No, he's not close enough to do anything there. It looks like both Red Bulls didn't get damaged, so none of them go into the pit lane. They still going on track. Yeah, right now he's got a gap of about 1.3 to fill. And Blockman's got right behind him with a 1.7 second gap. But has take her easy for company. Doesn't seem like the AlphaTauri has been really the most comfortable car for Blockman. Yeah, considering that is also, well, in the game, the worst car on the grid based on performance. Remember, if you're just new to this, the Formula Performance Series is basically unequal performance cars. So the faster drivers basically get put in the slower cars, the slower drivers get put in the faster cars, basically. Yeah, these two, who are the Williams and the Alfa Romeo Coral and Lil Mick, they're one of the quicker drivers on this grid. But the Williams, if I remember correctly, is the 4th worst car on the grid, and the Alfa is the 2nd worst. As Bloodman gets a 3-second penalty. He must have done that at turn 2, I reckon. He must have had some sort of moment there, and he just, yeah, got a penalty for it. But yeah, that's now brought Take Her Easy a little bit closer to him as they head up towards turn 7. He's not... Whoa! Very deep on the brakes. There's the McLaren, but not close enough to overtake the AlphaTauri. And the gap right now between the top two is growing. It's 1.9 seconds separating between Tom and Rebel. Yeah, Blockman's got a bit of a train forming behind him with Take Her Easy, Harm Assist, and Sergeant Bill for company. Back up to the bow for the podium. There's Professor Phil in the background there. There's the leaders in front. The other Alpha and the other Williams in front of them, of Rebel and Tom. Up towards the final 2 turns, back onto the main straight. On lap 8 of 31 here, it's at Singapore. Not too much, apart from the Red Bulls having a bit of a collision at turn 7. Whatever happened to those two. Travas goes into the pits. He's going to get off those soft tires immediately. Quio gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and he also goes into the pits. So he sustained a bit of damage a little bit later. Let's take it easy. Goes down the inside. He gets ahead of Blotman. Blotman having a little bit of a moment at the exit of the turn 7 corner, but yeah, he has to concede to McLaren. Dropping a bit like a stone in some aspects is Blotman. Something that he doesn't necessarily want. But he will be on the medium tire later into the race, which will get him to be much quicker. That is, it depends how many laps we get into the race without a safety car. Now Travas on the mediums, the same with Laquito down at the back of the grid. Blotman just not getting the best of traction at the exit of that corner as well. Also a bit of ground there to take her easy. 7/10 the margin, make that 6/10. Now the gap's closed up just a little bit. Up towards turn 1. Blotman not close enough. A little bit of a lag spike there. What it looked like on my screen. Blotman again running wide, might be getting compromised by the dirty air coming off the car in front. That wouldn't be a total surprise. Let's see here, Lil Mick, not quite close enough to do an overtake here. Pretty much been the same story. It's just everyone just following along. They try to get close, but they're just not close enough. Welcome to Singapore, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, his Blotman clovers all of the curve there. At turn 9, he definitely lost a lot of time. Cost himself about another couple of tenths, I'd say, to the McLaren. The AlphaTauri does not look healthy through some of these turns. And again, has a rear snap coming out of that hairpin. That's going to open the door for the Ferrari to overtake. He goes down the inside, arm assist, gets through, but overshoots it a little bit. Blotman tries the counterattack up towards turn 16. Blotman drawing alongside the Ferrari, and he decides to back out. He stays in 8th. Pharmacist moves up into 7th position. Meanwhile, the top 2 is growing a little bit more. It's 3.5 seconds between Rebel and Tom, but still close between Lil Mick and Coral. This is for the battle for the 3rd place position. Alfa Romeo seems to be pretty decent here, but doesn't seem like it has enough of a grunt on the straights to get by the Williams. He goes around the outside. He's looking at it. Well, that might have been a warning, I think, there from Lil Mick. He definitely had 4 wheels over the white line, over the curve there at the exit of turn 7. Let's see here. Go further back. Take it easy. Now it's caught up to Professor Phil. This is for 5th between these two. McLaren versus Alpine. Although we probably won't say that once we get into F1 24. Based off of Alpine are this year. Jay overtaking Honeybee. That is for 10th. He's now moved up 6 positions since the start of the race. Jay's up to the top 10. Very good drive so far from Jay. But meanwhile, his teammate is somewhat going backwards. He's now got Sergeant Bill for company. Lil Mick again not close enough to do anything. On Coral, when will he go for a move here? When will he line up an attack? He's got a lot more battery compared to the Williams. in front of him, but he just needs a good exit as Honeybee goes into the pits. It's just right there, turn 5. He just doesn't seem to get the better exit compared to Coral. And again, he's just not close enough to overtake. He again has to stay behind. I mean, knowing that Williams also, in real life, in 2023, last year, they used to be very good at straight line speed. That was one of their strengths. But cornering is not one of them. I'm thinking that Coral might have also lower wings too, maybe compared to the Alfa Romeo. Right now it's just not working out for the Alfa. Phil has a bit of a moment I just saw there, the exit of the hairpin of turn 13. Take it easy, he isn't close enough to do anything here. Alpine gets a very good exit there, the exit of turn 14. The kink of 15 up towards 16 and 17 we go. Not close enough. You can see a bit of rubber from the block-ups that happened at that bus stop from anyone that doesn't use ABS. Onto the main straight we go. Take it easy, 1 second behind, but that DRS seems to be under a second to the detection zone. He's not close enough to do anything. Back up to third position battle. Again with Lil Mick and Coral, and I think, well, Coral will still keep the position, definitely, because he got a way better exit compared to the Alpha. Yeah, same song and dance, just not close enough. The only positive thing, though, that he will have is that he'll be on the medium tire as Style Harmony gets a penalty. He'll be on the medium tire towards the end of the race, which means he'll definitely be a lot quicker and he'll have less fuel in the car. Yeah, Rebel, though, out in front, though, currently has a 5-second margin. Dude has been on form so far. He's been doing quite well here in Singapore. Yeah, on the hard compound tire, and the Williams definitely doing superbly well. Maybe we might need to put him in the AlphaTauri. Be a bit of a while before we get any sort of pit cycles happening. We've already had a couple of people that have. Travat pitted for the medium tire after starting on the softs. Honeybee pitted for the hards, and then Liquida, who had damage, is on the medium tire. But everyone else still has yet to pit. As Sergeant Bill will be the next one to come in. Speaking of that, he'll come into the pits and get off those mediums and onto a set of hard compound tires to the end of the race. Blotman, another penalty, a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Not seeming to like Singapore, I guess. Now here comes the opportunity for Lil Mick. Outside into turn 7. Gives him room. Hard racing, but Coral, again, keeps the spots. Lil Mick is just not close enough. Meanwhile, the Ferrari of Harm Assist. Oh, that was tight. I saw that Harm Assist might have got a little bit too close to the back of the AlphaTauri. As Harmony goes back into the pits onto a set of mediums. Yeah, Blotman's now got Harmesis and his teammates for company. As we head out of the hairpin of turn 13. Meanwhile, though, back towards the bell for third. Still brewing here between these guys. And I have just noticed as well on the timing screen, Rebel has lost about 8/10 on that last lap. The gap was about over 5 seconds beforehand. Now it's gone down to 4.2. So I wonder if maybe he just made a slight error or something. Harmesis goes into the pits. He'll get onto a set of hard compound tires to the end of the race. Alright. Little Mick, what are you going to do? I bet he's definitely getting tired of being stuck behind that Williams. He wants to go for the pass here. He again looks to the inside. He looks to the inside, but he's just not close enough. Again, just not close enough to do anything against the Williams. Just can't seem to find anywhere to pass. Yeah, with a 9% chance of rain, judging by how the weather conditions look, I probably would say we're not going to see any sort of rain here in Singapore. Oh! That was a bit of a mistake there from Little Mick. He looked like he lost at the rears going up towards the hairpin at the exit of the Anderson Bridge. Yeah, right now this is also the closest battle we got on track. Well, apart from the AlphaTauris that might be closing in on one another in a minute. Because Jay right now is under a second behind his teammate. It doesn't seem like he's having fun. Oh! What the hell? Coral just teleported inside of Little Mick. What on earth? Okay. That was interesting. As a couple of cars come into the pits, that's Tom, Professor Phil, and Take It Easy. They're going on to a set of hards is the Alfa Romeo and the Alpine and the McLaren. Tom will come out in 6th, maybe 7th place. Oh, make that 8th, because Sparty's right there. One of the few that hasn't pitted yet. Country Don, another driver who hasn't pitted yet. Yeah, Tom's going to look to try to get whatever undercut he can get on Rebel, but he needs to make a move now on Country Dawn up towards turn 7. He's not close enough, but he's going to go for a switchback up towards turn 8. Dawn defends hard. Keeps the position for now. Dal Harmony sets the fast lap of the race as well with a 34.0. Again, he's not close enough. AlphaTauris, meanwhile, battling away for 4th, and that's Blockman and Jay, of course, battling for 4th. Well, that's 4th for now. And they're closer to the Williams. Not quite close enough. Tom has now gone past the Aston Martin. He must have done that at the hairpin as Coral goes into the pits. They'll get off those tires immediately. Travaglia goes down the inside. He gets that stuff line there at turn 14. That's Coral. Yep, sorry. Forget he got into the pit lane. Alright, so. Tom's now got some clear air, so he can try to push as hard as he can. See what he can come up with and see if he can get any closer to Rebel on this undercut. Coral, meanwhile, will come out in 8th. He'll be behind Sparty and ahead of Travaglia. But he, too, has also got clear air. He's on the hard compound tire, though. So, it's going to depend what happens here with Little Mick. Where will he come out once he pits onto a set of mediums? He'll probably be waiting another lap or two, I reckon, to get onto a set of mediums. Oh, jeez, Blockman. Oh my goodness. That thing was sideways up the exit of the bridge. I guess that's one way of letting your teammate through. He certainly did. Rebel's into the pits now. I think Stuffalime's lost 2 spots. Alright, where's Tom? He's currently at turn 14. Rebel is just coming down the pits. He's going to get onto a set of mediums. Little Mick goes into the lead of the race now. I think at this rate, Rebel should come out comfortably in front of Tom as Blockman goes into the pits. Yep, that's pretty much with ease there for Rebel. He now moves down to 3rd, but got a lot of clear air and, yeah, he'll be looking pretty good towards the end. front wing change as well for Blotman. It just gets worse for him. Doesn't seem like he's having a great time here at Singapore. With that front wing change, he's going to drop down quite significantly. Sparry's still out there on those old hard compound tires. Jay and Lil Mick still out there as well. Rebel though will be closing up though to the back of the AlphaTauri very shortly with those fresh medium compound tires. Up towards the Anderson Bridge. Yeah, look at that. He's already closed up big time on him. Let's take her easy. Overtakes Travah. That is at turn 9. He gets up to 8th place. Meanwhile, the Rebel right behind the AlphaTauri up towards 14. Jay still has yet to pit. Very good traction there at the edge of the corner there from Rebel. That should be enough to overtake him, and it is. Coral gets by Sparry. Sparry lets him through. As Lil Mick now goes into the pits. Now where does Coral come out of all this here? Medium tires at the go for the Alfa Romeo. Jay stays out for another lap. There's Coral coming around the final corners. I think he'll be able to get ahead of him here. He's still in the speed limiter, and there he is. He's off of it. And Coral is in front. Sparry goes into the pits. Meanwhile, side by side, Travah, Sergeant Bill into turn 1. Sergeant Bill has to concede behind the Mercedes for now. Yeah, the gap now is 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds between Lil Mick and Coral, but he can try to close up on those mediums, but he can't let this guy pass him here. And he doesn't. Bill stays behind. Blotman gets another penalty. Yeah, he is really not having a good time, it seems. He's now got 9 seconds worth of penalties, the most out of anybody on the grid. But I would imagine, though, Lil Mick will be closing up rapidly to Coral. Yellows, Travah in the wall. We got a virtual safety car. He is George Russelled it at turn 10. Look at that. Broken front wing all over that bit of the track. It's brought out the virtual safety car. That might actually help Jay a little bit here. As Travah gets a penalty for quarter cutting. And he also retires at turn 13. I'm not sure if that was a... Oh, well, there's the car there. Alright. Okay. Jay in the pits. Tom in the pits. What? Why? He would have kept the track position. Medium tires for him. Okay, I don't know why he's doing that. Fill in the mediums. It's a Volta safety car. Safety car's been deployed. Wow. It just came out last second, I think. The full safety car has been deployed. And Rebel did pass it a long time ago, it seemed. I had my eyes on the timing screen when that happened. Everyone's coming to the pits. For fresh mediums, it looks like. Well, the ones that have pitted, at least. Country Dawn, I think, stays out. Harvester stays out. Coral stays out, and same with Rebel. That makes a little bit of sense why Tom went in. But Jay, though, as I said before, he's now in a very good spot. He started from, what was it, 17th? I think it was? I'll have to double check. Yeah, he started 17th. He's up 13 spots. Yeah, so this safety car has really, really helped him to get back into this race. A very well-timed safety car. Also up Sparry as well, because he was at the bottom of the order as well, and he's now in the top 10. Yeah, very unusual safety car though, because it didn't necessarily come out for the front wing damage. At least I don't think it did. Unless it took a while for it to do it. I don't know. Normally when there is debris on the racetrack, yes, you do see a safety car come out on occasions. Or the virtual safety car in some instances that evolve into a full safety car. Yeah, now the race has just gotten a bit more interesting. So right now it's a Williams 1-2. Yeah, Will Mick behind in third. Jay now in fourth, which is insane to me. Yeah, that was a well-timed safety car for him. Harmon in sixth, Professor Phil seventh, Don 8th, Take Her Easy 9th, Spotty 10th. Of course, like I said, he got saved too by that safety car because he was out there for quite some time on those old hards. Honeybee, Stuff for Lime, Sergeant Bill, Blotman though, on the soft tire. You're not gonna go 12 laps on those things. That's a bit of a risk. Laquito in 15th and Harmony 16th. They'll at least get back into the fray. Right now, we're just waiting for most of the field to catch back up as Chavaz left the session. Not a big surprise. Right now the queue is coming up towards turn 6, and yeah, we're just waiting on everyone else. Tommy, that was way far back from everybody else. He's 13 seconds behind the next car. Wait for the safety car to get back into its natural habitat of the pit lane, and we'll get back under green shortly. Still got about 11 more laps to go in this race here at Singapore. And a very interesting time. Safety car has pretty much mixed some things up. Just waiting for the call from race control, and we'll get the race going again. I think we might be going for one more lap under the safety car. Considering where the rest of the cars are right now, Take Her Easy, who's in 9th, hasn't caught up yet. And Style Harmony still has yet to catch up to the back of the train. Yeah, I don't think this will be a light time safety car, thank goodness it won't. So we will go for another lap. One more lap under the safety car. Just waiting for the call from race control for the safety car to come back in. It's been, of course, a long period. No total surprise considering this is Singapore. Alright, when will the safety car go? It should be coming in now. There we go. Safety car is in this lap. Alright. Lap 22:31. It's coming in. Rebel will lead the field as the de facto safety car. He's got cars behind him though on fresher tires though. I think it looks like to me we'll like to get going as well. You can see what he's doing as well, braking and accelerating at the same time to build up temperature into the carcass of the tires. Just waiting for him to go. Here he goes. He's gone. We're back in the green here at Singapore. We're on the lap 23 of 31. Jay looking to the inside, goes back behind the Alfa Romeo of Lil Mick. He's not close enough into turn 1. To turns 2 and 3. Jay can't do anything there, but he is on fresher rubber compared to some of the other drivers in front of him. There's Tom behind as well. And Coral losing sight to his teammate. 1 second already at the end of the first sector as we head through turn 7. Laquito, Blotman side by side, through turn 7. They make their way up towards turn 8. Oh, the Red Bulls nearly collided again. Oh my goodness. Harmony nearly ran straight into the back of his teammate at the exit of, at the entry to turn 8. Dearie me. What is up with those two Red Bulls? Oh, Jay is looking down the inside, but he's just not close enough to overtake. Sergeant Bill gets through ahead of Subfeline. They're side by side. Heading up towards turn 14. There's Blotman in the background as well. Oh, that's a collision! Oh, dear. Oh, goodness me. Sergeant Bill came across Subfeline. Blotman had literally nowhere to go and ran straight into the back of the Haas. I think as a result he got damage from it too. I wouldn't be surprised. No, I can't see anything wrong. Oh, that's who got damage. It was Subfeline. Although Blotman could have sustained damage too. And yeah, he has got damage. Laquito doesn't have a front wing. I think that's what the safety car for VSC was originally for. I don't think it was for the other incident. So Laquito must have made a mistake somewhere else. Oh, that's just poor luck. And a few other cars into the pits as well. Smarty in the pits, back in the pits. Honeybee's got damage too. Armistice apparently had damage as well. So a few drivers apparently in the back have gotten some sort of damage that I just didn't see. Well, a few other drivers that I didn't see get damage. Very interesting. Alright, we're back in the green again. On to lap 24 of 31. Coral looks like he got a better restart though compared to his teammate. As we now head up towards turn 13. 8.5 tenths is the margin. Currently between the two Williams cars. If he could get within DRS range of Rebel, that would be very good for his race. And it doesn't look like Rebel has... He hasn't really actually pulled away. He's got a decent gap, but he hasn't necessarily pulled away from his teammate. So maybe the hard tire might play into some sort of factor here, as DRS is now re-enabled again. Lil Mick on the back, not close enough. Jay right behind as well. Tom behind as they head through turns 1, 2, and 3. Phil also in the mix as well in 6th place. He's in the back of this train. And Coral is going to get DRS as well, heading down towards Raffles Boulevard. Luquia picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Up towards turn 7 we go. Coral will close up. Not close enough though to attack, but he will close up a bit on his teammate by just a little bit. But he's still got cars for company behind. I think that was a move there from Take Her Easy overtaking Country Dawn, I think. Rebel has put up a little bit of a gap. Gap now shrinks up a little bit. 6/10. Oh, he is really closing up. Big time. I think the hard tire definitely will come into some sort of play. He looks quite good on those old hards. But remember, it's the older hard tire that will be better than the older medium tire for sure. As I said before, in the beginning, I did say that the hard tire would be the better race tire around Singapore. I think Coral is starting to prove that case a little bit. Like I said, he hasn't necessarily got enough to get close enough to his teammate, but he is within DRS range. That's the main thing. As long as he keeps up with that range, which he kind of lost out a bit, but he'll close that back up. They see him having DRS at down towards turn 1. Yeah, but now the gap is 7/10, nearly 7/10. Separating these two. And Lil Mick, though, isn't far away. He looks quite racy in that Alfa Romeo. He is on the medium tire, though, in fairness, but the Williams doesn't seem too bad. Honeybee sets the fastest lap of the race with a 132.8. Up towards turn 8 we go. The 6-car fight for the race lead. This is where Rebel, though, has been quickest, is around this middle sector through that bit at turn 8 and 9, but then Coral does gain that back a bit. Well, not on this occasion. He is over. He actually gained that back. Well, there you go. Oh, his Rebel has gone wide. He's gone pretty wide there at turn 13. He must have really overshot the corner there at turn 13. Then gets really good traction at the exit of turn 14. The other cars involved, Lil Mick, Jay, Tom, and Phil. Oh, running wide. That's Coral running wide. That's going to open the door for Lil Mick. He goes through. He's now moves up to P2 as we got yellow flags with Luquito spinning out at turn 5. Oh, a big mistake there by the Williams. And now the Alfa Romeo moves up to 2nd. He's on one lap younger tire compared to Rebel. He has DRS still. He'll try to close up as best he can. He only closes up to about 9/10, less than 9/10 through that corner. We'll see if that Alfa Romeo has any more life on those mediums. What about Rebel too? He has pulled a bit of a gap now, 1.1. He's trying to pull away as best he can. It was looking like Coral could have been in the driver's seat, but now it's looking like Rebel might be able to pull away. Longman overtaking Stuffalon, that's for 13th place. It's 1.4. The gap is significantly growing between Lil Mick and Rebel. Yeah, I think Rebel might be able to pull away now on this occasion. Down the inside goes Professor Phil at turn 16. Nearly ran into the back of, well, nearly went alongside the Alfa Romeo of Tom. Just wasn't close enough to do anything. There's Sergeant Bill also trying to line up a pass here. Oh, he's not quite close enough. I thought he would have been close enough, but nope. Not on this occasion. Yeah, Rebels now pulled up a gap of nearly 2.5 seconds. I think unless we get a late race safety car, I think he's got this one in the bag. Coral again not close enough to do anything. He's just stuck behind Lil Mick. Like early in the race, Lil Mick was stuck behind Coral. Now Coral's stuck behind Lil Mick. And he hasn't really found any sort of way to get through as well. Jay, oh hello, what? He just ghosted through him. What? Okay. Oh, he's gonna get overtaken. Oh, gee whiz. Well, he gets overtaken by not just Coral, but Tom gets through as well. Did they collide and somehow Coral ghosted? I have no idea. Oh! Tom nearly runs straight into the back of him. That could have been a disaster for both of them. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like though Jay was trying to redress the position back, but then it ended up being that he got overtaken by the Alfa Romeo as well. So it was him in third, eventually. He's now down to fifth. 3 more laps to go. I don't think there'll be any safety cars from this point forward. There shouldn't be any more safety cars from this point forward. Yeah, that gap is just, yeah, it's growing quite large. This is Sergeant Bill and Country Dawn battling away. This is for for 8th place. Let's take her easy there going through. He seems like he's in a comfortable position here. As Jay overtakes Tom, that's Tom also getting overtaken by, well, he was almost getting overtaken by Phil. Phil goes to the outside. Oh, they make contact! Into turn 14. Phil makes the move stick. Wow. He actually made that move stick into 14. There was contact, but he made it work. Didn't end up hitting the tire barrier. Leclerc has retired from the session. That's in the pit lane. Yeah, race to forget for him, for sure. But meanwhile, though, Sergeant Bill overtaking Country Dawn. That must have happened at the first corner. The yellow flags, that's for... Oh, Country Dawn looking for a move. He looked to the inside. Eventually did, but just wasn't close enough. Here comes the Aston Martin on the Alpine. To the outside he goes. Late braking, gets it done. Nice move. That was very clean. Oh, Phil nearly runs straight into the back of him. Sparty, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Meanwhile, Jay has a shot though to get a podium here. This would be a great drive from Jay. Barring that he did get a safety car to help him out, but he has kept it not a foot wrong at least. Here he comes, outside into 16. Coral covers. Coral keeps third place for now as we'll start the final lap of the race. Got the battle for third, brewing away between Coral and Jay. Jay looking inside, can't make the move stick into turn 1. But can he get a good run out of turn 3? Well, he'll get DRS up towards turn 5. Up towards the edge of turn 5. But the unfortunate thing is he doesn't have ERS compared to Coral, who's got a little bit more. He's going to burn it. Coral burns just enough to stay in front. And Jay just can't do anything about that. He's not close enough. He needs a slip up at least. One little slip up from Coral. Well, all it takes. Through the chicane of 10-11 up towards the Edison Bridge and then into turn 13. For the final time in this race. Will he be close enough? Looks... Oh, I don't think you want to pinch yourself there. That definitely compromises his run. Coral gets a better run compared to Jay. But meanwhile, Out's in front. It's been pretty much another comfortable drive for Rebel. We'll see the flag. He'll win the Singapore Grand Prix. His second win of the season. Does it in the Williams this time. Lil Mick in second. Coral third. Hangs on for third. Jay in fourth. Definitely will get driver of the day for sure. Phil in fifth. Tom, though, bit of a disappointing sixth place for him. I'm sure for his standards. Definitely would have liked it a bit better than that. Take Her Easy seventh. Country Dawn eighth. Bill ninth. Harmony recovering to 10th. Not bad. After what happened between him and Laquito. Armistice, I almost said driver of the day. Excuse me. 11th, sorry. Honeybee 12th. Blotman in 13th. Definitely a race to forget for him. He'll finish 13th place. Sunfalime in 14th. And Sparty will round it all off in 15th place. Actually, Sunfalime overtakes Blotman because he had more penalties accumulated. And he'll cross the line. Gives a little kiss on the wall for good measure. And that is that. That is the Singapore Grand Prix. And not a surprise who gets driver of the day. Jay from 17th to 4th. 13th spots. Recovered in that race. Not very good drive indeed. Well deserved. And a well deserved victory too from Rebel. His second win of the season. In a different car this time. He did it first in the Alfa Romeo Bahrain, and he done it for the second time then here in Singapore in the Williams. Lil Mick, though, I'm sure he'll be happy with a podium. Finishing in second. Coral, definitely a good race for him as well, finishing in third. And there are your unofficial results then of the Singapore Grand Prix. Rebel wins, followed by Lil Mick, Coral, JM, Professor Phil, Tom, Take Her Easy, Country Dawn, Sergeant Bill, Harmy, Harm Assist, Honeybee, who also, I think he claims fastest lap. Yeah, he claims the fastest lap of the race. We'll score that extra point. Subfalime at 13th, Blotman 14th, Sparty 15th, last of the point scores, and then it's Laquito Trava and Sir Jake. Rounding it all off. And I think with that as well, I believe Lil Mick still keeps his championship lead as well. And there you go. That is that. Not a bad race overall, but typical Singapore Grand Prix, you know. The usual DRS trains or trains forming and certain groups everywhere and whatnot. That's something I would typically expect around Singapore. No wet weather, obviously. Didn't have that sort of interference. But yeah, I think that will be it for the stream here for America Formula Performance, and that includes all the Sunday leagues as well. Yep, we got the Tuesday leagues coming, of course, at Singapore. So until then, do we have a break week, or is that still going to be a thing next week? I know next week we've got the Australian Grand Prix. Typically that's normally a break week. Where's the bloody calendar? There it is. No, we will have our break on Easter. So, yeah, by next week it'll be a break for the Pacific region, but for the Americas we will be racing in Australia next week. But in 2 weeks, when Easter comes, that will be a break for us. But anyway, I have been K997. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for round 6 of the championship at the Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. Take care, everybody, and goodbye.